High in the Andes, far from the great cities of the ancient world, stands a stone site that should never have worked. No written language, no metal tools, no advanced astronomy textbooks, and yet the stones predict the sky with an accuracy that still unsettles modern researchers. This is not Stonehenge, and it is not Egypt. This is a forgotten stone calendar carved into a mountain ridge, one that aligns not only with the sun, but with events that ancient cultures were never supposed to track. The site was first documented by a small surveying team in the mid-20th century. They believed it was ceremonial, decorative, symbolic. But when the first measurements were taken, the math did not match ritual. The stones were too precise. Each pillar is cut at a slightly different angle. Not randomly, not artistically, but incrementally. When sunlight strikes them at dawn, shadows move across the ground in a sequence that matches solar transitions throughout the year. Solstices, equinoxes, cross-quarter days. That alone would be impressive. But the real anomaly appears at night, under certain lunar cycles. The stones align with constellations visible only during rare celestial windows that repeat on long cycles far exceeding a human lifetime. Some of these alignments occur only once every several generations. Why would a non-literate culture track something no living person would see twice? The answer may be that the calendar was not designed for people. It was designed for continuity. Unlike oral tradition, stone does not forget. The builders created a system that could pass information forward without language, without symbols, without instruction. The sky itself became the key. Stand here, watch the shadow, follow the stone. Modern astronomers confirmed the alignments reluctantly. The site predicts solar drift with surprising accuracy. It compensates for axial wobble in a way that implies long-term observation or inherited knowledge. But where would that knowledge come from? The region shows no evidence of slow astronomical development, no intermediate tools, no experimental phases. The calendar appears fully formed, as if it arrived complete. That raises a disturbing possibility. Some researchers believe the site was not built by the local culture at all. Instead, it may have been inherited, reused, and mythologized by later people who no longer understood its full purpose. That would explain the legends. Local stories describe stone teachers that arrived before memory. Beings who did not speak, but showed where to place the rocks. The sky, they said, was already mapped. Humans were only instructed to copy it. Official archaeology dismisses this as myth, but myths often preserve what history erases. What makes this stone calendar especially dangerous to established narratives is that it breaks a rule. Advanced astronomy is supposed to emerge alongside writing, metallurgy, and cities. This site has none of those, yet it works. Even more troubling, the calendar appears to track not only celestial cycles, but disruptions. Slight irregularities in alignment suggest the builders were compensating for changes, solar intensity shifts, orbital drift, or events that altered the sky itself. That implies observation over thousands of years, or knowledge passed down from a much earlier civilization. A civilization we are not supposed to remember. When proposals were made to fully excavate the surrounding ridge, funding disappeared. The site remains partially buried. Only the most visible stones are documented. The rest remain under soil, unmeasured. Why stop halfway? Because full exposure would remove plausible deniability. If the calendar is fully mapped, its predictive capability becomes undeniable. And if it predicted the sky accurately in the past, it raises an uncomfortable question. What else was it designed to predict? Ancient calendars were not just about time. They were warnings, markers of cycles that mattered: floods, droughts, solar changes, cosmic events that reshaped civilizations. The builders may not have been celebrating the heavens. They may have been preparing for them. The stone calendar that shouldn't work stands quietly on a mountain, still casting shadows, still tracking movements no one asked it to track. It does not need belief. It does not need interpretation. It only needs light. And every time the sun rises, it continues doing what it was built to do long after its builders and their true history vanished from record.